today, from Sacramento, California, it's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Patrick Mahomes and the Sacramento Condors taking on Trey Lance and the Baltimore Ravens.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's Week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Sacramento Condors. Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Sacramento team as we enter play here. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. The 30, 10, 5, and all the way in for the touchdown. DeAndre Swift with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Condors are on the board first here this afternoon. Wow, first play in the game, CD, 75 yards. These people, they haven't even filed in yet from the tailgate lots.
Everyone talks about starting out fast. Everyone talks about getting explosive-type plays. That was absolutely a thunderbolt. And on the defensive side, you spent all week scheming, all week preparing, and it seems like it goes right out the window.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. They'll be led out by the former number 3 overall pick back in 2021. It's Trey Lance.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
On 2nd and 11 now. Lance. And incomplete. Corey Davis, the intended receiver. But now it'll be 3rd down. Backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. 89 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Right back to him for 10 more and a first. He can really smell 800 catches right now because that last one puts him at 799, knocking on the door. On first and 10, it's Swift. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
31 yards there and a first down.
And it is still early, just the first quarter. But you start prorating the numbers, and we might be in for some history. I mean, that last run puts him over 100 yards already, and we've still got 3 quarters to go.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on first and 10. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. From the 13 now, they work on first and 10. Mahomes now to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. DeAndre Swift. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Condors go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. So that drive in total 8 plays. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And they'll begin by running the option. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Lance now to throw. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
Yeah, they held him completely out of the end zone, just held them to a field goal. So they're not just hoping for a repeat here. They're hoping to do it even better. A shutout is their goal.
Now Lance going for the deep ball. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 41 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And they'll run. This is Trey Sermon. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Lance going to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Leonard Williams with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them. Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed. Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that? I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on. And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. 152 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained. Mahomes' throw here complete to Kelsey. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. And that catch, he just hit number 800 in his NFL career. And just think, that puts you in top 35 range all time in the NFL in terms of number of catches. One significant guy in that number, Shannon Sharp, who was a tight end. That's big-time play right there. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there. And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam. Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now here's Mahomes. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown. And it's caught. Touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, his first touchdown on the year. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far. Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And it's 21-3. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was Brandon Ayuk capping it off with a touchdown reception. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Meanwhile, Lance's throw complete to Freiermuth. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw, it's Lance. Here's a screen to Powell. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Throwing on first down is Lance. Flush to his right. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down. Here's Lance to throw it. And he will find Davis. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this will be scooped up by the defense. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case wide receiver, you got to be. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose, and is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Now left side on the swing pass. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Behind the chain, 2nd and 13. Lance looking to throw it. He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Throwing now is Lance. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Terry McLaurin, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Ravens get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and it makes the score 21-10. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. And that nearly intercepted. Well, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down. To throw on 2nd and 10, Mahomes. Oh, what a catch by Ayuk. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
Boy, that completion comes with a high degree of difficulty, especially on the catch. Had to look that one in one-handed, able to do so, and ends up picking up a first down as well.
1st and 10. Here's Mahomes. Open man, it's the tight end, Kelsey. And he'll go down, but not before getting us inside the 30. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And, oh, it's complete. What a catch at the 7. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A very solid gain of 27. And that last throw is going to keep him climbing that all-time passing yards leaderboard as he crosses the 25,000-yard mark now for his career.
He just recently passed Bart Starr. Next up for him, Bob Greasy. That's 2 Hall of Famers, 2 Super Bowl winners, multiple Super Bowl winners. So he's getting up with the legends now. Congratulations.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as we say goodbye to September and take a look around the NFL here on this first day of October. We'll start out west in Sin City, an AFC West matchup between Denver and Las Vegas. And it's the Raiders out in front as they approach halftime. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. From there, we head east to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Josh Allen leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they were losers in their ball game as they were outplayed by the visiting New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. As they begin their second half here, Charles, offensively, not where they want to be, obviously. They're losing in this ball game, but very much within striking distance. We'll see what adjustments they make in the second half.
Is that the old glass half full, half empty type of a deal? Which way do you want to look at it? Because you're right, they're down on the scoreboard, but they're definitely opportunities now, because if they want to go ahead and get going in this one, get back to the running game. I think there are going to be some places to go with it, and I think the offensive line will appreciate the chance to fire out and hit people.
That's a good point because they virtually had nothing going in the ground game in that first half. From the gun on 3rd down, Lance. He finds his man, complete. That's Peterson. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Lance, a give now to Sermon. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
2nd down. Here's an option right. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. So not his arm, but hurting him with his legs. A gain of 19 on the keeper and a first down. Here's Lance. On the slant, he's got Davis. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and make sure he spills it for a small gain.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. To throw on 3rd down, Lance. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Jahan Dotson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are back within a score.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially.
And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Lance going to try to throw for this. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play, and guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Mahomes firing complete, and he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Here's Mahomes to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
2nd down and goal. Mahomes. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. So a little extra time to ponder this 3rd and goal as we played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. And it's caught. Touchdown. Brandon Ayuk with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Condors are going to be moving to 4-0 as they extend their lead. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a two-score game here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Extra point right down the middle, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And Lance's throw into the hands of McLaurin. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Looking to throw again on second down. Lance. And he's going to get this down near the 25. But correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They set up the screen for Sermon. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. To throw again on second down. Lance. It's caught by Davis. And they're going to move it down inside the 25. The offense on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Again, it's Lance. And Lance will have the first down as he's able to slide to avoid the contact there at the end of the play. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run with Peterson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look for a late touchdown. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Shotgun now for Lance. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Davis. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. On play action, Lance. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, they can smell victory, partner. They can see it on the horizon, but certainly we're not done yet here. Defense still has 3 timeouts, and obviously this is a very slim lead they're holding on to.
And let's face it, the easiest way to get this done, challenge your ground game. Challenge your offensive line, your tight ends, your receivers, anyone who's going to lay down a block. Don't let there be penetration because they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and maybe bring extra people to the ball. If you can do that, make them burn their timeouts, run out the clock, life will be good. But if you really want to gamble a little bit, a quick play action, quick throw, might be able to get it done. Just make sure it's not incomplete and stop the clock.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll stay on the ground with Swift, and this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They will run straight ahead with Swift. 228 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides. So for Sacramento, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0, and they will hit the road next week. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they'll drop down to 1-3, and they'll be at home next week for a date with the Houston Texans. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.